My name is Don Lillyman and I'm the Promotion and Client Manager of Cafe 64 in Walgett. I was born in Walgett, my mum was born in Walgett, and I consider it well and truly my home. My early life was I was raised on a property about 30 miles out of Walgett, and I did correspondence till I was 12, and then I went away to boarding school in Sydney. And then I returned after boarding school and worked on the property for a while until I had a football accident playing rugby league. Of course, that's a life-changing experience, and I became a quadriplegic. I was born at the Walgett Hospital, and I had my accident about 100 yards away on the oval, and I'll be buried in the cemetery, which is another 200 yards away. So that area in town is my sacred site. Well, the purpose of the cafe is two main purposes as I see it. One is to give employment to disabled people, and the other one, of course, is to provide a clean, efficient, healthy place for people to come in and sit down and have good coffee and a good meal. So we provide those two services to the community. Yeah, but the main idea of Cafe 64 is to provide employment and training for disabled people.
And how important is employment for someone with a disability?
Well, the changes to the people once they get a job, the people with a disability, is enormous, because the fact that they've got a disability means their self-esteem can be low and their self-confidence can be low because they're just not up there with the mainstream. When they come and work in Cafe 64 and prove that they can do a job and they get paid for it and they wear their uniform, and it makes an enormous difference to their pride and their self-confidence, and the difference in their personality is just terrific to behold. And I've been down the street the other day and people say, I remember those people before they worked at your shop and they would come in here with their heads down and sort of you'd have a job to say hello. And whereas now they come in and they have a chat to you, and it's just a complete change in their outlook on life. And I know it affects not only them but their families, their friends, and it's great for a small town like ours where everybody knows each other to see people that have disability working. And it's a good example to say, well, if we can do a job and we can get work, why can't the able-bodied people?
Walgett Council area covers 22,000 square kilometres in the northwest of New South Wales. It's formerly a remote area. It comprises a number of small towns and villages, and the economy revolves around the primary sector, grain growing, grazing, and opal mining at Lightning Ridge. The population's only 7,000, and like a lot of western areas, the population's in fact declining. The town of Walgett itself has a population of a couple of thousand, and approximately 50% of the population is in fact Aboriginal. Walgett town is not a wealthy area. Cafe 64 is in fact the only dedicated standalone restaurant in town. Apart from providing a valuable food service, it is also a very important meeting place. It's the only operation in town which in fact targets specifically the employment of the disabled. In fact, Cafe 64 is very much an essential community service for Walgett.
One of the roles of the cafe that I've noticed over the 3 years that I've been here is the way it breaks down barriers. I think it's really important because we have Aboriginal workers, we have white workers, we have young people, we have elderly people, we have everyone in between, and I find our customers have become much more familiar with and mix with people that they wouldn't normally mix with. We have tourists come in, we have local people, we have property people, and they all come in and they all seem comfortable and happy to enjoy the food and coffee of our shop and to be served by disabled people. So it breaks down the barriers of black and white, of disability and able-bodied people, and it's a great success in that respect.
I'm Victor Wood. I work at Cafe 64. Important job. I'll probably stay here probably for a long time. Yeah, very important job. I would love my job at Cafe 64, and I'll probably lost without it. The Cafe 64.
I have a bone problem called ankylosing spondylitis, and if I ever have any problems with that, which is an ongoing concern, they don't hesitate and let me have an hour or two off, having a sit down, just coping with my problem. I've never had a job that's allowed me to cope with my problem to the extent Cafe 64 does.
And working at the cafe, the workers now are fitting into the community a lot better because of the cafe. Do you think that as well?
Oh, very much so. We're all fitting in real well at the moment, and I can see opportunities arising for all of us. It gives us a place of employment. It's very hard finding employment up in the outback of Australia. It's quite hard having a regular job. You can get jobs, but it's hard to find one that's a regular job for a year, in a yearly period. We have casual work, but not much else up here. Employment is number one on my list. I don't feel like a worthy person unless I'm employed. So I look to be employed all the time and as often as I can.
One of the things is that you get up every morning and you know that you've got a place to go to, and then it's not only that, you find yourself happy by the time you go home, and you know that you've done something to help somebody.
And has it changed the quality of your life?
Yes, it has.
In what way?
In many ways, many different ways. Because as I said, it's that it all goes back to the thing of friendship. To me, that's the real huge advantage, to have friends that will help you. And they all, most of them come from the cafe itself.
We are one big happy family. You know, even like everybody have their days in and out. I don't care who it is. Like I have my bad days. Some of the guys on DSP have their days, but the important thing is that at the end of the day we're going home happy, smiling, and saying we'll be back to work tomorrow. And that's a lot of encouragement, especially with people on DSP, which is great.